Did you ever play terrible movie trivia on my channel back in the day?
Yeah.
I miss those days, dude. But I think a big part of that is because I know movie trivia really well.
You're about to see if you know some other trivia.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is Tristan has come up with a list of wrestling terms, I believe mostly, and we're gonna see how close
Mm.
I can get to identifying what these things are. Do you have any stipulations, any rules set out, or are we just gonna go and see?
No, I'm just throwing words at you.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
without further ado, oh, and by the way, if y'all have any comments or ideas on videos that you would like to see covering wrestling, let us know. Either head over and check out the Martial Arts Film Freak channel on YouTube and leave a comment down in his videos. Leave a comment in this video, and we will see if we can't get around to it. I've been enjoying kind of immersing myself into the world of wrestling, but as was the case 2 months ago, I am definitely not a scholar in this stuff. So let's see how it goes.
So I've got about 25, 26, I don't know, words or phrases here. They start out fairly simple, fairly easy, and they get a little bit different, harder as you go along.
Before we get started, will you honestly 25 questions, how many of them am I going to get right?
I threw in a whole lot there. Like I said, they start out pretty easy. I'm very confident you're going to get a lot of the early stuff, and then some of the stuff is fairly simple. Like you can kind of put some context together, and then the other ones are maybe a little too internet fandom.
You're trying to fuck me.
Only a little bit, not a whole lot.
All right.
I'm not
I'm
trying to
gonna
like
give myself, I'm honestly, dude, 20 out of 25.
So some of them are like your standard pro wrestling terms that you'll hear anywhere, and then some of it's kind of internet stuff, some of it's whatever.
All right, we'll see what happens. Wait, no, dude, give me a number. How many am I gonna get right?
uh I'm let's shoot for 15.
Okay. All right. If I get 15, I'll feel all right about that. All right. Okay. Let's get into it.
All right, so again, these first few I think you're gonna get. First one right here, what's a gimmick?
What the match is like? Is it a ladder match? Is it a Money in the Bank match?
That's one style of gimmick. Yeah.
Okay. Another style of gimmick would be like what the wrestlers like persona.
Yeah, their shtick, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, basically anything that they will use to entice the audience with like a hook, an angle. Okay.
Yeah, that works. These two are easy. What's a heel?
Bad guy.
Babyface?
Babyface, good guy.
Yeah. What about a tweener?
That would be somebody in between a babyface and a heel. But would you say CM Punk is a tweener in that match that we discussed between him and John Cena?
Yeah, I guess, because I think going into that match, I mean, maybe I just look at it from a fan angle. Cena is the heel going in, but I mean, Cena is just straight babyface, so it's hard. It's hard. So yeah, I would say CM Punk or like a Becky Lynch or Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. I guess for CM Punk, like because his ultimate goal is to destroy the institution.
He's
That's kind
technically
of the
the heel,
heel.
but I mean, so was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold was beating up his boss every day.
Okay, all
You
right.
know
That's a tweener. I like it.
what is a pop?
Pop is something that makes the audience excited. Like maybe it's a finisher, a moment that happens where the audience just goes crazy.
Close enough. Yeah, it's pretty much the pop is the crowd going crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah. Got context.
What's a cheat? What's a well? I guess let's go. What's heat?
Heat is, ironically, it's the negative side of fan enthusiasm. Dominic Mysterio has a lot of heat. I would almost think like if the audience hot, it's like they're warmed up, they're super excited, but it's mostly when they're mad at the
Mhm.
wrestler.
Yeah, it can also be used for like backstage stuff. Like if people backstage are mad at a wrestler or somebody backstage, then they have heat with the boys in the back or something.
Okay, got it. Did not know that.
What is cheap heat?
Is it like manufactured?
Sort of. Cheap heat is like when a wrestler comes out and makes fun of the hometown's football team.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, you come out in Atlanta or something and you're like, at least I've won more championships than the Braves or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Because that,
yeah.
it's that's something that's going to hit the crowd in their soul easily and is going to make them boo you. Cheap heat.
Okay.
Like you didn't try very hard for it. It's cheap.
I got it. I got it.
What is, and you know this one, what is selling?
Hold up. To go back real quick,
Yeah.
is Dominic Mysterio constantly shitting on Ray? Is that not cheap heat?
Not really. I don't think so. No.
Because they
Because
actually
there's going to be
are
somebody in the
family?
audience. Yeah. And there's going to be somebody in the audience that maybe doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But if you can just hit them in something basic and something simple and make them boo you, then
I see. I feel that. Okay. What's the next one?
selling.
Selling. I might. I'm gonna go specific because I think I know. I would probably use the term more broadly. But I think selling specifically is whether or not you can make it look like you get injured.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yeah. Like it's like, not really getting hit, but then being like, oh,
Yeah. Okay.
selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Making it look good. What have we got? I've got bump. What is a bump?
Hmm. Now, yeah. Now we're getting into the weeds. I think a little bit. A bump. Is it? Is it putting your opponent over? That's no. That's its own thing. A bump. Is that when they actually take a hit?
A bump would be more of just a fall. So like somebody takes a spill and lands on their back, or anytime somebody either goes like from their feet and just takes a back bump and falls on their back, or if they fall off like the top rope and hit the ground, that's a bump. Like
Okay.
what? Like way to take a bump.
I did not know that one. I'm
Yeah,
adding that to the vernacular. Let's go.
squash.
We talked about this one before, like a squash match. It's just it's the person who gets speared by Goldberg. It's a match
Yeah,
that just is over as fast as it began because the person goes into the match so over that you almost like they just dominate the other person.
yeah. Usually used to like get like a monster wrestler over. Like go out there, wrestle some small local guy, pin him in 45 seconds. A squash
Okay.
match. Color. What is color?
Blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kayfabe.
Kayfabe is the persona. It's the difference between Dwayne Johnson and The Rock.
Sort. I mean, in a smaller term, sort of. Yeah, it's like it's the canon. It's the continuity. Like it's not. It's kind of dead these days. But you go back to like the 70s, 80s, and it's like say like the good guys, the heels and the baby faces. You never saw them in the same place. Like the heels rode in the same car, the baby faces rode in the same car because they had to keep up kayfabe. You see them hate each other in the ring, so they have to hate each other in real life
Where
because
would
it's
you see
kayfabe.
that at?
You don't see it much these days.
But back because the internet has broken down, like we see into their lives too much. But where
Right.
would these wrestlers back, like on the tour bus?
I wouldn't
The
even say at the
arena?
time. At the time, you probably wouldn't have like it because think back in more like a territory days before it was like one major company. Like if you went to a small show and you saw the heel and the babyface beat the shit out of each other, you're not gonna go see them high five, have a smoke in the back. You're
Okay.
gonna they gotta
Uh-huh.
they gotta keep separate because it's kayfabe. You gotta
Okay.
the business was more looked at like the question was still there. The line was not drawn yet, or the line was still drawn of like, is it real? Is it fake?
Yeah. Don't we still see like, and obviously on a much smaller scale, but like if Bailey and Liv Morgan are having beef on the show, then on Twitter they might still be kind of like
That's a
acting
sort of a
like
way of
that.
keeping up kayfabe. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
MJF is a dick in real life, keeping up kayfabe.
All right. Cool.
What I've got here. What is a jobber?
Oh, I know this one from Mortal Kombat. A jobber is somebody who exists to get, they're a punching bag. They exist to get the shit kicked out of them by the bigger stars.
They can't win. They just get beat all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Reptile
what
and Baraka are jobbers.
they are jobbers, 100%. What is a spot?
I might be using it wrong, but it's like a move, right?
Sort of, yeah. It's just like a big, usually like a big move. Whether it be like think of like a ladder match. You know, the spot would be somebody taking a huge bump off a ladder. That's the spot.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, got
Yeah.
it.
So what is a spot fest?
It's a match with just a bunch of big moments in it.
Pretty much, yeah. Not
Okay.
a lot of storytelling, just a whole lot of big spots.
Okay.
A spot fest.
I would like those are the kind of matches I'm here for.
They're
Right,
always fun.
everybody. Yeah, yeah.
What's a work?
I've heard this one before. A work.
I also have not been keeping track of what all you've got right.
Nah, that's fine. Me neither. Somebody will let us know afterwards. A work. Fuck, dude. I don't know this one. Let me guess. Let me guess. A work is when somebody takes a beating for a period of time.
I could see why you'd go that direction. It's like getting worked over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But a work in this situation would be something that is fictional, but you're buying it, kind of. It's a work. Like something can go down and you're like, oh, they're really mad at each other, but they're not. They're acting. It's a work.
Is what CM Punk did with WWE a work in the broader context, or was he really coming out and dropping truth bombs? Like, did they know that he was coming out to drop truth bombs?
That's a combination of different things. So we'll get to the next word.
Okay. Okay.
What's a shoot?
Oh shit. Yeah, we're out of my depth here. A shoot. I mean, photography is what I think of. It's clearly not that. A shoot is when maybe it's like a crapshoot. Maybe they're gonna like try work, not knowing if it's gonna be a success or not.
A shoot is so think of more like if you ever see like a real wrestling match, like an actual competitive grappling match, it's
Uh-huh.
called shoot wrestling. A shoot is usually something that's real. So if
Okay.
someone ever does something off script or something and they say something legit, that's a shoot.
Okay. Okay.
So this is sort of what you're talking about with CM Punk, which was some of the stuff he said was him shooting. That was a shoot. But what's a worked shoot?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a combination of the two where like part of what they're saying is a work and then the other part of it is like really coming from them and off the cuff, not planned.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's something coming from a real place, but it was like planned. Like maybe someone brings up like some real life BS going on backstage or something, or some real life like trauma and turmoil, but they planned on top. They planned on talking about that stuff. It's a work
So
shoot.
it's the difference between Matt Hardy finding out that Lita and Edge were together, which would be a shoot, and
Right.
then them taking that romantic rivalry and working it into the story would be a work shoot.
There you go.
All right, cool. Got it. Got it.
What is a receipt?
I know this one from watching Stone Cold. From watching Undertaker. I think on Joe Rogan Experience. I can't remember what it was, but a receipt is if somebody hits you in the ring, then you owe them a receipt. You got to get them back one time. It's kind of a trade, like a injury for an injury.
Yeah, my favorite one is a couple years ago. There was a triple threat match between Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, and Kane. And Kane under Brock Lesnar is sort of down, taking a knee, and then Braun Strowman knees him in the face a little too hard, and so Brock Lesnar stands up, that UFC brain coming in, and just fully goes boom, boom, boom.
Oh shit!
And you see Braun Strowman fully being like, "Oh my god." That was the receipt for kneeing Brock Lesnar in the face.
So, humanity, the id, how does it not just turn into one receipt for another?
You just gotta, You did yours. You got it back. Now get professional.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's got to end somewhere, and you want to keep your job and your contract.
What is a hot tag?
Hmm. I'm gonna have to guess on this one. I would think it happens in a tag match when you tag the person, and they just come out like guns blazing, like when Sami Zayn tags in
Mm-hmm.
Kevin and Kevin Owens just fucking comes out there and just starts working people over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is that
pretty
right?
much. Like think of like when like if you see one wrestler in a tag match just like constantly getting beat down for several minutes and he's constantly reaching for that tag and he can't reach it. And then when he finally gets it and the guy jumps in the ring, he starts taking out
It's
everybody.
a
That's a
fucking
hot
great
tag. Yeah.
moment. Yeah, I like those. All right.
This one, I don't know, Phil, this is going to be pretty deep. I don't know if you're going to get it. What is pillmanize? What is it to pillmanize somebody?
I mean, it feels like pulverize, but I feel like I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that. It's when you just like go in and beat somebody up like aggressively.
Yes, but it is one very specific act.
Okay. Oh, is it the like flurry of slappy punches?
Not quite.
Okay.
It is when you see somebody like wrap a chair around somebody's ankle and then stomp on the chair.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That is to Pillmanize. That comes from Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's a wrestler named Brian Pillman who Stone Cold wrapped the chair around his ankle and then stomped on the chair. Like in theory, like it would like if someone's ankle is in the chair and you're essentially closing the chair
Yeah.
on their
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
So because it was Brian Pillman, that was sort of one of the first times that had been recorded, I guess, happening to somebody. It was called Pillmanize.
Is there a good example of somebody getting a limb snapped from that?
I don't think it's. I think it's only ever been done pretty safe. I don't think anyone's gotten hurt from it. They've gotten to the point where they do it to people's heads now. Though someone will put like a chair in someone's neck and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it an example when somebody will put somebody on a ladder and then put a ladder over them and then like do a move onto the top ladder? Would you consider that pilmanizing?
It would. I guess it would almost be more close to Pillmanizing somebody with the ladder if you just like if you open the ladder and put them in it and then just closed it.
Okay.
That would probably be closer to a Pillmanize.
Okay.
What is a concerto? Again, this is a very specific move.
Yeah. A concerto. Is it somebody's finisher?
Not quite. It could. It's definitely. It definitely would finish a match most of the time.
Oh. Is it head into the steps?
No, think the word chair is in there.
Concerto. Is it bashing somebody with a chair? No.
One way or another, kind of. It's specifically it is if you have a chair on the mat on the ground and you put someone's head on that chair, and then you take another chair
Yeah.
and you sandwich their head in between the chairs.
I've seen that before. It's a wild move. I guess the idea is to hit it at like an A-frame to where you're not actually sandwiching their head, but you're hitting
Yeah,
the top.
it
of
looks
the
good on
chair.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do it towards camera, it looks like you're doing it, but you're not actually hitting the contact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. A concerto.
What is a mark?
I mean, in street terms, a mark is somebody that you would sell drugs to. Somebody that like an opportunist would see as somebody to take advantage of. Is the audience a mark?
The audience is a mark.
Okay.
And so specifically, the mark is anybody who like fully buys into something being legit, like being real. Like if you like if a storyline gets so like I don't know in if you're so inversed like into a storyline, you're a mark.
Yeah, got it.
And then sort of a mark has also been just kind of been used as a fan, but so something a little bit deeper than a mark. What is a smart mark?
Somebody that generally buys into it but can see the dents. Like if work isn't going, no, that's not the right one. yeah, if a work isn't going over like 100% and they can like critically understand that it is not real, then they're a smart mark, even though generally they buy into it.
In a way, yeah. A smart mark is pretty much just a it's your internet wrestling fan. It's me. It's somebody who understands, like, or at least, is online talking about stuff, understanding certain things backstage. You're not just fully into it for a storyline perspective. You're also understanding other stuff going on behind the scenes. You're a smart mark.
Okay, got it.
This is something you talked about, I think, in the last video. What is chain wrestling?
Hmm. Shit. I talked about it in the last video, which we were discussing some of
The previous one before that,
okay,
the
okay.
Cena Punk.
We were talking about Cena Punk chain wrestling. Oh, okay, maybe I got it here. Chain wrestling is matches that take place outside let me say this better, where the drama unfolds outside the ring more than it does in the ring.
Not quite. It was, so you were talking about how you enjoyed CM Punk and Cena just kind of countering one another.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's usually how a match will start before they start doing a bunch of big spots or anything. If you ever see them like grappling and just counter, chain wrestling.
I like chain wrestling. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Like I feel like
It's usually very technical.
is that like big in New Japan or
Sort of the more like competitive kind of matches and stuff like that. Yeah. Like Ring of Honor would probably do a lot of stuff like that.
yeah, I like that.
Like if you ever have two technical wrestlers in a match where it's like they're not high flyers, they're not brawlers, they're very technical, they'll do a lot of chain wrestling.
Okay. But chain wrestling wouldn't be like when the guys lock up with their like hands clasped and
I would say
trying,
that
like
could lead to some chain wrestling. Like if they start trading headlocks and flipping each other over,
got it.
trying to get the dominant position. Yeah, they're chain wrestling.
Okay.
You only got a few more here. I've got what is a botch?
A botch is when you fuck up the move and somebody gets injured.
Or just any general screw up.
Okay.
If it could be something simple, even if you just missed a suplex or something, you're like, oh crap, I messed up.
Okay. Yeah.
Botch.
They'll like go to do a knee that's supposed to always hit the person in the I can't like I saw a good example of it. I can't remember. Oh, when dude stomps on his hair. There was a match we watched not too long ago, and it was supposed to be like I think it was Seth Rollins, and he stepped on AJ Styles' hair
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
match.
yeah.
I guess that would be a botch.
Yeah, pretty much. Anything that's sort of a visible screw up, a
Okay.
miss or something like that.
Uh-huh. I kind
I
of
think
enjoy those.
I mean, look, they're always, everyone doesn't mind seeing a botch every now and again. I'll send you some Botchamania videos.
Yeah.
This is the last one here. I think it's fairly simple. Dirt sheet. What's a dirt sheet?
Dirt sheet. I don't know. It doesn't sound as simple as you might be making it out to be. Let me think. A dirt sheet. Dirt. I mean, it reminds me of like if you've got dirt on somebody, sheet, like a rap sheet, you've got a sheet of dirt on somebody. They've got a long list of offenses. A dirt sheet is a wrestler's spotty record history.
You were on sort of a path there. You skewed off a little bit by thinking about an individual wrestler. The dirt sheets are sort of just like the news columns, that maybe aren't super accurate all the time. It's people reporting on wrestling news, what could be going on behind the scenes. Is somebody injured? Is somebody not injured? Are these two having an affair or something? I don't know. Stuff going on backstage, inner workings of the world of professional wrestling that people are reporting on online. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. It's the dirt sheets.
This is something that really fascinates me about wrestling. And I feel like it ties back to one of the initial conversations that you and I had where I was like really trying to get to the core of like what it is, right? Like let's say um Alexa Bliss is out with an injury. That's why she
Mhm.
hasn't been showing up, right? And then it turns out that Alexa Bliss was pregnant. Well, they knew that somebody knew. Alexa Bliss knew that she was pregnant the whole time, but then like a lot of the online wrestling coverage journalists places that aren't exactly like your trades, they report on it as if Alexa was injured. Was that like seeded by the company? Um,
There's people have insiders, it's the same thing as movie reporters saying I have a source that says this, somebody knows somebody who works somewhere in some department, and they get their sources in their report.
and it and maybe I'm thinking too conspiratorially that in actuality, that person that says I had a source is somebody that worked. The source could be somebody that works for the company, but that instead of being a whistleblower, they're actually an asset to the company.
That could be a case. That's probably, yeah, like you said, probably leaning towards more like a conspiracy area there. But yeah.
Yeah, I always wondered about that. Like, nobody, like, I'm trying to think of a good example of it, but like, I will have people tell me, oh, this person really got their arm broken in this match. Cody Rhodes with the titanium plate in his arm. He didn't
Mhm.
really break his arm, right?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, they'll also say stuff like that if like they need to write somebody off TV for a few weeks for whatever reason,
Yeah,
or if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
even just trying to get them some sympathy or something, they'll say like somebody got hurt or something. It could sometimes they'll even say something to give somebody time to heal something else. Like I think they did that in AEW with Jamie Hayter losing the women's championship. Is they targeted her shoulder and said, well, now she's got to go away for a shoulder injury, but maybe she's probably does need to heal, but a totally different part of the body.
Yeah. Roxanne Perez, I think it happened with not too long ago where it was a
I think
work
so.
where she
Yeah.
got like hauled away in an ambulance or something and
Mhm.
it ended up being another. And like that's cool, but that's kind of, I think the intrigue of that to me is there's the layer within the layer within the layer. You can watch it from multiple different, you could be a mark, you could be a smart mark, or you can be like I feel like I have a really hard time buying into any of it, yet I
Mhm.
really enjoy it. It's like I think because there is a deceptive layer or two to it that I'm my default stance is skeptical to it instead of being like a mark, but it doesn't mean that I don't like it. Like my wife is still, the people who think they're smart that are like wrestling's fake. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, no shit, but there's still something to like about it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, I like last night was a good example. Last night there was a match between Adam Cole and MJF where I'm like, I don't want to see Adam Cole lose, and MJF is not losing. He's the champion. He's on a hot streak. He's not losing. And so AEW has something WWE does not, which is time limit draws. If it comes with time limit, draw. So I'm like, how's this match going to end? Because I don't want to see either one of these guys lose. But I'm also invested in the story. I like, bad guy, good guy, bad guy needs his comeuppance, whatever.
Yes.
So I'm invested as a fan. And they had this incredible match. It was wonderful. And it gets to the point where because MJF is the bad guy, I'm in the match and I want MJF to lose at this point. Even though I was saying earlier, like, he's on a hot streak, he's a champion, I don't really want him to lose. In terms of the story of this match, I need MJF to get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
So they have a 30-minute time limit draw match, and Adam Cole is pulling out all the stops. MJF is constantly trying to cheat one way or another. He's getting caught. It looks like Adam Cole's about to win. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, ding, ding, ding. What just happened? Why'd the bell ring? Oh, shit. It's been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He couldn't put him away within 30 minutes. Match is over. It's a draw. And so I'm devastated. I was watching it last night and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then, time limit draw. This match is a draw. And so I'm devastated for the match. I'm devastated for Adam Cole. He needed to win the match. But then I snap out of it for a second and I go, that's the way that match had to end. Neither guy could lose.
Yeah.
How do you resolve that match when you have two guys who really can't afford to lose right now? Time limit draw. So like I was within a span of like 45 seconds, I'm invested in the match. I'm invested in the story, and I'm devastated by the ending. But then I snap out of it and I go, "Oh, that was the right way to do it."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I guess that's kind of how we have to be, I think, in the internet age in a lot of ways. And I remember you telling me that about Rhea Ripley, how like you and your girlfriend love to watch Rhea Ripley, and she's obviously a heel, but like there's sometimes you just want the heel to win because of their story outside
Mm.
of the kayfabe or whatever. So like that resonates with me, you know. Dude, I saw some clips of Cody and Dom on Raw, and Cody needs a new costume, dude. He needs a new.
I've never been a fan of his Homelander get up. I don't know. I've never been into it.
Oh, well, I guess that's a conversation for a different time. That was good trivia. I honestly I got less than I thought I was going to, and I'm glad. I did not want to go through and get all of those things because then what's the point of that? Like
I had a handful I
then
knew
I'm
you'd
just a
get.
fan. Yeah, you
I knew
try
you'd
to
get a
help
good
me
handful of
along.
those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some good ones now. I know some new terms.
And watching you put together what a worked shoot was a lot of fun.
All right, good, good, good. Yeah, the concerto, man. I like that. I'm gonna be using that one. Y'all let us know what you think. If you have some terms that you don't think we know, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. I'll make sure to Google them and give you the precise definitions next time we we go on air. Just kidding. If you got some trivia questions, let us know. I'll keep it honest so that we can keep it fun. If you have any topics that you would like to hear us discuss in regard to the world of wrestling, let me know. I'm still pretty noob to the world of AEW, so maybe you got some suggestions of that over there. I'm going to check out Botchamania over the next week or so. And we'll be back next week to talk a little bit more about the world of wrestling. Thanks for stopping by. Check out me. Check out Tristan over at Martial Arts Film Freak. Links down in the description. And until next time, be terrible.
Yeah, boy.